How do I move past my brother-in-law peeing on my boyfriend's clothes? Okay, some background. My 23F older sister 27F met her future husband 28M when they were in middle school, so he has been in my life since I was about 10. I grew up super close with him and my older sister. He would always come over, watch movies with my family, go on ice cream runs with us, and we all played the same sport, so we would see each other almost every day at practice. Essentially, he grew up being my brother. Fast forward to me attending college. I ended up going to the same college Bill went to and studied in the same college as him. We would meet for dinners to catch up and he would give me advice about my major and job opportunities. We had a friendship outside of my sister that was very much like a sibling dynamic. We had a great relationship and I am so happy he ended up marrying my sister. I met my current boyfriend 23M at this college and we all started meeting up and hanging out together. Everyone had a friendly relationship and we got along great. My Bill had graduated at this point, married my sister, and they have a house 3 hours from where I live currently. Now to the story. My BF and I were staying at my sister and Bill's house for a weekend. We had a normal relaxing first night planned. After dinner, we decided to sit in their yard for a bonfire while drinking a little and chatting. A very nice relaxed evening. After an hour or two, my sister went in to go to bed around 10:45 11 p.m. and the three of us, Bill, my BF, and me went inside to keep talking. We ended up taking one shot together, but things were really winding down, so it was kinda a nightcap. I wasn't drunk, my partner wasn't drunk, and we assumed Bill wasn't either. I went to bed around 11:45 p.m. 12 am while BF and Bill stayed up chatting. Now some history about me. I am a very paranoid person. I know this is a larger issue and am speaking to a therapist about this, but I have an unnatural fear of someone breaking in the middle of the night when I am asleep. I check locks multiple times before going to bed, and when there isn't a lock on the door of the room I am sleeping in, I will put stuff in front of the door to get a heads up if someone is trying to break in. Normally without this, I cannot fall asleep. I cannot sleep in a house by myself, sometimes can't even sleep in my apartment alone. I know it doesn't make sense, not what I am here for. I am working through it. Don't need help with this, Arn. When I went to bed that night, I couldn't put stuff in front of the door because my BF was coming in later. My sister and Bill only have locks on doors that go to the outside and the bathroom. By the time my BF came to bed, I was asleep and he just went to bed. We are assuming Bill went to bed shortly after my BF. Around 2:30 a.m. I wake up to a figure standing over the bed. Not my best moment, but I was literally living my biggest fear. I completely froze. My heart rate spiked and I was absolutely still with fear, still laying down, but my head shot to the side to look towards the door. My boyfriend was sleeping closer to the door king, so I was looking over him. As I start to realize it is my Bill, I realize he is reaching down and all of a sudden hear a stream of water. I was literally speechless. I could only hear my heartbeat and the stream. He was literally peeing next to the bed, facing the bed. As I am overcoming the initial shock, Bill seems to come to some sort of sense and goes to use the bathroom. He did not say anything or give any indication of being conscious. He just walked to the bathroom and finished business. While he was finishing up, I woke my BF up and told him not to move but to wait a second. We waited for Bill to go back to bed before I spoke with my BF. I know this seems like a strange reaction, but I had just been through my biggest fear along with the fact that Bill peed in the room, a fact my brain hadn't accepted at this point. My BF thought there was an intruder, so both of us were just laying in bed, absolutely frozen. It was one of the craziest moments, and I literally could only hear our hearts beating because we both were so scared. After Bill was back in his room, I told BF we need to go downstairs because something was wrong. It was like my brain knew what happened, but I couldn't get myself to say it out loud. My BF started to pick up his clothes that were on the floor when I quickly told him to leave them where they were. He had already grabbed one and noticed it was wet. I still couldn't form the words and we went downstairs, essentially both in underwear, what we sleep in. Again, I think I was in shock because we made it to the basement before I could type out what I thought had happened. My boyfriend freaked out thinking Bill had been conscious for the whole time and we spent the rest of the night downstairs awake. The next morning I faked that I was sick and we quickly left. Since there was pee all over their guest room floor, we thought it would be best to call and let Bill know what happened. My boyfriend called Bill to let him know what happened and told him he should probably clean the floor. Bill was extremely apologetic and embarrassed. He called me personally to apologize and to make sure I was okay. Now the complicated part. My sister is a very kind, loving, sweet individual, but has some unique things about her. She can be extremely judgmental and tends to live her life with many self-imposed rules. Bill is also this way, think old school lifestyle, and has no issues with this. My sister has never been a drinker or experimented with drugs. Bill has experimented with drugs and loves to drink. I think it is his way of getting close to people. My sister has accused Bill of being an alcoholic before, even though he drinks a normal amount, just because she doesn't drink and doesn't really have a normal baseline to compare his drinking to. She has genuinely been unfair to him about this, and my family has told her so. Because of this, my boyfriend and I decided to tell Bill on the phone that we would keep it between us and not tell my sister. Being about a year from this issue, I understand that Bill was sleepwalking and that it is a somewhat normal thing for people to urinate in odd places while being intoxicated. That is not my issue. While the peeing part was very unfortunate and gross, it absolutely soaked my BF's luggage. I feel that I can get over that. The part I'm having issues with is how to move past is him coming into the room I was staying in the middle of the night. My absolute biggest fear, while not being able to tell my older sister. Also in the back of my head, I question why he suddenly stopped and went to the bathroom. Did he wake up? I don't know. Bill has never brought this up in person, and we haven't spoken about it since. Every time I go to their place, I have flashbacks of the fear I felt and can't sleep. I feel uncomfortable being alone with him now, especially when he is drinking. Mostly when I see him, it is for family events, so there is almost always alcohol. He always pressures people to drink at events and has now seemed to start distancing himself from my family. He hasn't installed any locks in their house still, and I continue to make large piles of items in front of the door just so I can sleep. I simply don't understand why he wouldn't put locks in their house after everything that happened. It makes no sense to me and makes me incredibly mad and uncomfortable. I just don't know how to move past it without telling my older sister or just getting over myself. Any advice would be greatly appreciated. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Edit to add. I have gotten a hotel lock and it unfortunately doesn't fit in their door. Any smaller or more universal locks I could get?